What's up guys, welcome to GT Content. My name is Gary. The 5th generation Toyota Supra was recently released and we have been witnessing the horsepower records get broken since to find the limits of the B58 engine. In the 2JZ world, we are familiar with BPU, BPU++, and APU, but this Supra is now German and most people may not be familiar with this new platform if they're planning to modify their new Supras. So in this video, I'll tell you the bolt-on parts that you need to increase horsepower in the cheapest method to save you money and reduce downtime. Before we start, here are the stats, performance numbers, and some insight of the 5th generation Toyota Supra. It's rated at 335 horsepower and 365 foot-pounds of torque. The dyno chart tells us that it's underrated because it makes more power at the rear wheels. Also understand that every dyno reads different, but it ranges around 340 horsepower to 370 pound-foot of torque at the wheels. The stock exhaust system doesn't seem to be a restriction and weighs around 53.5 pounds. You can remove it for the least amount of restriction and maximum weight reduction at the track, and the best part about it is that it's free. Unless you want noise, aesthetics, or a special material like titanium for some weight reduction, then go ahead and add costs in for an aftermarket exhaust system if you like. The Supra has a better fuel pump than other BMW models capable of a higher power output. It's also difficult at this time to find higher flow rated direct injection fuel injectors, so until the aftermarket catches up, another method to make more power is to go to a throttle plate injection or port injection intake manifold and add water, meth, alcohol, or some other supplementary fuel. The ZF 8-speed automatic transmission limits have also not yet been tested, but it seems capable of holding what power can be thrown at it at this point. So where do we start with the bolt-on process to make more power? The first modification is replacing the stock intake air filter, which will allow more air to enter the engine. Take a look at this thermal imaging for the M240i's engine bay, which should be similar to the Supra. You can see the heat source in that red area from the turbocharger. I'd suggest getting an intake with an enclosure or heat shield to prevent heat from this area getting consumed into the engine. The intake is the cheapest and easiest modification and will give you 5 to 10 real-world horsepower and costs around $180 or more. And if you're wondering, an ECU tune is not required for this modification. The second part requires two things and is the most expensive but will also provide the most horsepower for your money. The first thing is a catless downpipe that is less restrictive and provides better flow. It's a slip-on type that also attaches to your stock exhaust system and retails for $450 or more. The stock ECU will not be able to compensate for the downpipe, which will require the second thing, and that is a tune. An ECU tune with an all-stock Supra has been documented to increase the power to around 400 horsepower and 430 pounds-foot of torque at the wheels. I don't suggest doing this as your first modification unless you will be satisfied with that power level, because you will be wasting more money later on if you want to make more power. There are multiple ECU tuners that you can choose, like Dynon or Berger Motorsports, that are piggyback tuners, which means they are hardware that attaches to your main ECU and tricks it to account for certain parameters. Then there are flash tunes, which permanently change the parameters in the ECU based on modifications installed on your car. The piggyback or flash tune will void your warranty if you're concerned, so make sure you're certain you want to go this pathway. I'd suggest going with a Boost Mod 3, which will cost you $595. Also find someone with experience that can tune the Boost Mod 3 with a dyno and get a quote. I'm going to estimate $1,000 total for the Boost Mod 3 and the tune. Now what's involved with the tune? Well, it's going to be all the bolt-on parts that you bought, which will maximize the stock turbo. But also make sure to use high octane fuel, which will push it to around 470 horsepower and 500 pound-foot of torque at the wheels, and this looks to be the limits of the stock turbo. There are other advanced methods to make more power with the stock turbo, like adding a methanol kit or nitrous to reach that 500 horsepower or more figure, so it'll be your decision if you want to pursue that direction. A better solution to that is to add on a stock modified turbo by Pure that'll have stock-like characteristics but make more power. The price for the Pure Stage 2 Turbo is $2,250 with a core exchange. It'll be a bolt-on affair capable of around 550 real-world horsepower or more, and you will be able to use the aftermarket downpipe that you just purchased. You can't have power without traction, so you'll need tires. If you're drag racing, then 2 rear 285/35/19 Mickey Thompson drag radials will cost you around $350 each. Don't forget to add removing, mounting, and balancing of the tires to your stock wheels. So in total, for a pair of Mickey Thompson drag radials, that'll run you around $700. So to sum it up, there are 2 paths to take. You'll need to buy an air intake, downpipe, ECU tune, and sticky tires for both of them. One is the stock turbo path for under $2,000, which should make up to 500 rear-wheel horsepower. The second path is replacing the stock turbo with a modified one for under $5,000 and make up to 550 rear-wheel horsepower. So if you buy the cheapest Supra 3.0 for $49,990, excluding taxes and fees, and add on $5,000, you can have a solid 10-second and maybe even a 9-second Supra for around $55,000. Of course, this is only the beginning and there will be more aftermarket parts and records to be broken. So hit that subscribe button for future updates, and if you found this content informational, then hit that like button to support my channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.